so pleased to have one of the most renowned fitness experts here with us today, Anna Victoria, who I am also fortunate enough to call a friend of now a few years, even though we've never met in person, which is
Right.
bananas, thanks to the world of social media. You and I have traded our stories on mommyhood and trying to feel our best and going through the fitness journeys and the emotional and the mental ups and downs of the whole postpartum, prepartum experience. So thank you for being here today.
Thank you so much for having me.
So I love your candidness and your honesty about what you've gone through to become a mom, how you prepared yourself on all levels. For you, what has been the most rewarding part of the motherhood journey?
I feel like there's so many different things that I could say. It's just, I think seeing someone that is becoming their own person and nurturing that and really just trying to support her. I mean, she's two, so she's just now starting and as we were just chatting about a bit ago, like her personality just coming out. I think watching that develop and just trying to help her go through life and be there for her as, like, of course, a parent, but just helping her be the best person she can be. It's just so much fun. And I think, like, of course, I'm enjoying the experience so much as a mother, but I feel like it's more about her and like watching her go through life and seeing, I guess, life through the eyes of a toddler is such a special thing. So yeah, all of it. Of course, there are struggles, there's hard times, but I just think it is one of the most rewarding things that you can experience in life.
Yeah, yeah. And there are the struggles for sure. But someone once said to me, it was really cute. They're like, they look like little cherubs because they're angels on earth with their innocence and their perception of things. And it just reminds you, like, in a harsh world, that there's still so much joy and kindness around. And for you, like I mean, let's face it, social media is a beast.
Mm.
And there is the good and the bad and the ugly, and you are a channel of positivity. However, I feel, you have encountered some mommy shamers, some body shamers. How do you keep going through, like, how do you handle that?
Yeah.
Especially because you're showing yourself at very vulnerable points. It's
Yeah.
not like you're saying, okay, I'm a Barbie doll and everything is perfect. You're like putting it all out there and still getting people that comment. And if you're looking good, people are still commenting. Like, you really can't win.
You cannot win. And I think that what I try to focus on, I don't want to say that, like, oh, it doesn't bother me, or I mean, I'm human, like any negative comment, like it is going to upset me, but I try not to, like, of course, let it consume me, but just that human response is there. But what I try to redirect myself to focus on is that more what they're saying is about them and not as much about me. And I think that some of the comments that I do get, whether it's that I was very open about my very slow journey back into fitness. Like, even though I'm a personal trainer and a fitness professional, I did not want that to dictate what I did with my body. I didn't want to feel pressured in the face of motherhood. Like, I wanted to give myself that time and that space. And some people didn't like that. They were like, you are, like, not getting back in shape quick enough. And I was just like, well, yeah, like there were those comments. But I think that's really sad that people have that expectation that just because you're a mom and you're a fitness professional that you have to snap back. I have to say it wasn't the majority, but the fact that those people existed blew my mind and was really sad, because that's unfortunately the world that they live in, and that's not my world. And so I had to just kind of separate myself and, just recognize that that's their reality and to not take it to heart personally. And then on the flip side, once I did, like, it was when I weaned was when I really, like, got back into it, like, hardcore. And within 2 months, I saw pretty drastic, results. And people were mad about that too, because then it was like, you're putting pressure on other women to like get back in shape. You can't win. And I do feel very lucky that I have a very supportive community. So I would say 95% are really understanding and know my story and all the nuance behind what I've gone through. It's just that 5% that don't know and that can only see from their reality that kind of ruins it for, some of the rest. So
What if the whole thing about snapback culture? What are your thoughts about it?
I think that it is fueled by the like celebrity Hollywood industry, that you see these celebrities have babies, disappear for a few months, and then come back looking amazing. And what we don't see in those few months is procedures, surgeries, and or just all the help in the world, to where their only job is to focus on looking better, even if there's not surgery and procedures involved. And that's not reality. But unfortunately, that's what we are seeing displayed in the media. And your average woman is comparing herself to, which is really not fair. Like, I am in favor of whatever anyone wants to do with their body is their business. Like, I'm not going to tell someone you shouldn't do this procedure. While I would never do it for myself personally, it's not my place to judge. With that being said, if you are in the public eye and you are putting your body out there and saying like, oh yeah, this is just what happened post baby, like I don't think that's okay. I do think that there should be more transparency, but I think that that's wishful thinking. I don't think that'll ever happen.
Mirrors going on.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And it's also a filtered reality too. I mean, it's easier to trim someone's waist or put on, abs or whatever people want to do. And then you see in person and you're just like, oh, well, that's just silly. That's just silly. I do think there is a lot of pressure. I know for me, I was surprised by just the changes my body went through. And I was really excited to see everything kind of happening. And please don't judge me. And I know you're not someone who judges much, but I used to eat McDonald's all the time. Like,
me too. It's okay.
Like fast food and whatever.
Yeah.
And like, I never thought about what went into my, I was never like putting bad things or toxic things into my body, but I would eat the junk food and the whatever. And then as soon as I was trying to get pregnant, because I did IVF, I became like clean eater. I was watching prenatal Pilates and like doing these crazy exercises on stretches and building my core. And throughout my entire pregnancy, I never felt better in my life. Like, I was the fittest I was, even though I was out to here with almost a 9-pound baby by the end of it. But it for me, like doing those exercises, they were gentle, they were good, but eating that way and living that way, I really should get back to like a prenatal routine, because it was really good. For you, you documented it and it's out there, but for you, what was like some of the most challenging parts of keeping yourself fit? And when I say fit, I don't mean, and this is just for the people watching, when I say fit, I don't mean skinny, I don't mean a certain weight, I mean just feeling your physical best and healthiest.
Yeah. I think that I can speak both to pregnancy and just in general. I'll start just in general. Kind of like you said, like I also was eating McDonald's and fast food my whole life and I loved it. And like, why would you eat anything else? Like, like if you don't have those other like motives of like being your healthiest for conceiving or just in general in life, that's how I grew up. And so it's really not my second nature to lead a healthy lifestyle. It's not. I have to fight for it every day. I don't love working out. I'm not that person that's going to go run a marathon or a half marathon, whatever, before Thanksgiving. Like, no, but with that being said, I do prioritize moving and fueling my body, because in my early 20s, I was starting to have health problems because all I was eating was fast food my whole life. And it was starting to catch up with me in my early 20s. And I do have family members that didn't ever correct that path and are now living with chronic health conditions and on prescription medication, I had that kind of like quick little like view into what my future would be if I didn't make some changes. And so that's why I started my journey. It's not because I'm this person that like it's so easy to live and eat healthily or to work out and I'm athletic. I'm not at all. I have to fight every day. And my first thought in the morning when I wake up every day is like, no, I'm not working out today. Like, no, I'm not going to eat my, like prepared or like food at home. I'm going to do Uber Eats. That is my second nature. So I think that is, it's just an ongoing struggle. And I kind of have to fight against, I don't want to say the way I was raised, because I don't want that to reflect on my amazing dad who was a single father and like was just doing his best to raise me. But the reality is that was the culture and the lifestyle I was raised with. So that's my second nature. And it's my job as an adult to realize that continuing that into adulthood is only going to lead me down that path of having health problems. So it's my job to put in the work.
No, that's so well put. And it is like a personal responsibility. And it's hard to be dedicated to that. For people who are looking for, and this is a very oversized question, so take from it what you will. For people who are looking to motivate themselves, and they just haven't been able to do so, like they have the best of intentions, but they can't get to the gym, they can't go on their bike to do a Peloton YouTube video or whatever. What do you say to that person to try?
I find that normally what happens in those cases is that they are thinking that they have to do all or nothing. They're thinking in the extremes of like, well, what's the point if I can't work out 6 days a week? Like, you don't have to work out 6, 5, 4 days. You can do 2 days a week can do so much for you on a maintenance level, just for a lifetime, moving your body. So I think for those people is just to start small, like don't think that you have to completely overhaul your lifestyle. It really depends on the person, because what I've found for doing this for 10 years, there's no one size fits all, right? There are some people that want that overhaul, that kind of all or nothing. And they need that in the beginning to really get focused and to really get harsh with themselves and say no to all their cravings. And that works for some people. And then they can kind of ease into like a more balanced approach. But for others, that all or nothing is really toxic. And they need to start with slow and build on that. So I think people really just need to know what their personality is and which approach would work best for them.
And what's a healthy approach? Again, there is this emphasis in, especially like TikTok, Instagram. I've seen these images of like before and afters, and it's like a lot of things are doctored. How do you keep yourself with realistic expectations?
Yeah. So what I've always focused on is 80-20. So I would say that could be both from a nutrition standpoint and from an exercise standpoint. It's just a general approach of try to move your body, eat healthy, whole natural foods 80% of the time. And then that gives you 20% of the time wiggle room to either take an extra rest day or go have that McDonald's, And I think that that's what's helped me and a large part of my community for so long know that they don't have to be perfect. There is wiggle room to still, what I always want to help people do is to live a healthy lifestyle they actually enjoy, which means letting yourself go on vacation and not think a thing about working out or whatever you're eating and just enjoying life. And then when you get home, getting back to, your normal routine. So yeah, I think that's really what has helped a lot of people that are able to let go of that all or nothing mentality, or at least work on it. So 80-20 is something that I hold really close to how I approach being able to sustain a healthy lifestyle.
Yeah. I think it comes down, and we hear this word a lot, the balance.
Yeah.
And also I think once you do kind of go on a different path, when you do ingest, let's say, the fast food, your body feels different. Yes. And it's almost like a Pavlovian response, a conditioning response of like, well, if I eat this, I'm going to feel a certain way and I don't like that feeling. So for me now, I'm going to be 40 in February, and I'm starting to feel like when I don't eat well, like when I could eat that in my 20s and I would be like, oh yeah, I got a natural 4-pack, you know, and now I'm just like, oh my God, I feel indigestion. I feel really sluggish. And your brain starts saying to you, like, you don't want that anymore because you're going to feel yuck.
Right. Absolutely. You have to just learn to listen to your body. And I think that's easier for some people than others. I think genetics also play a big role
Yeah.
into it, and as you age even more so. Yeah, it's hard. It's the same thing. If I eat anything that is like processed or unhealthy, just, I try not to label foods like clean or, dirty or good or bad. There are more indulgent foods and there are more nutritious foods, right? So if I
Mhm.
eat things that are less nutritious, I instantly feel it and start getting like digestive and like reflux and things like that. So it does kind of help autocorrect me a bit because I will not restrict myself. I will not say no to enjoying food here and there, but that always kind of helps to bring me back.
Yeah. And
Mhm.
I grew up with an Italian mother, so I was always like, "Mangia, food. Food is love. Love is food."
Absolutely. Food is emotional. It should be enjoyed. But as we come into adulthood and age and go through life, it is our responsibility to recognize like how that food is impacting us, not just physically, but mentally and emotionally as well.
And where can people find out more about you?
Yeah, I'm mainly on Instagram. So Anna Victoria is my main page. And then I have two brands. We have Fitbody app, which is where I have all of my workouts, my meal plans, recipes. We have registered dietitian, physical therapist access for all of our members. And then we just launched Velar Labs, which is our protein supplement company, and other supplements that are coming. So that is mainly all the different places where I'm able to help people. Yeah, I would say mainly Instagram, a bit on YouTube as well.
Oh, awesome. Well, thank you for being here. As always, it has been a pleasure.
Oh,
And
thank you.
I appreciate all your advice too.
Of course. Thank you for having me.